Well, hello.
Kristabella, you are literally the very first white woman with blonde, reddish hair that's ever been in here.
Oh, yeah. Did you notice my new hair?
Yeah.
I did it. I just did it because I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a typical white girl and be sad and dye my hair. Because you know what? If you're sad, you got to try to make yourself not sad. So I'm going to dye my hair.
I guess that works. Anyway, I met you at the gym.
Yes.
You were not working out. Because
No.
I typically don't talk to people that are working out. Because I'm usually angry when I'm working out.
And you look pretty angry.
Yes,
when you work out.
I've got that angry look. Because I am angry because I'm working out.
Exactly. Everybody is.
But we spoke for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I felt really bad because you were late on your workout. But that's
It was all right.
So worth it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But you went to a concert today.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, yes.
Yesterday.
It was an Emery concert.
An Emery, like an Emery board?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's not how you spell it, but Emery.
Yeah.
Emery. Yeah. They're kind of Christian poppy rocky.
Yeah.
Alternative rock. You heard the song.
Yeah. They sounded good. It reminded me of back when I was in high school, a little older than high school.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're around your age. They're fans. They listened to them in high school growing up and stuff. So, yeah. It was a really good concert.
Good. You were telling me about what song was that?
Listening to Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that one. That kind of struck a chord because lately I've been arguing with a lot of Christians.
Yeah.
Because, well, you heard, I think I told you that Bishop Carlton Pearson passed away the other day. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always, okay, I won't say it's always sad when somebody dies. I'm not that person because some people need to die. He wasn't one of them. He didn't cause havoc or anything.
Right.
But what I found confusing and what really bothered me and disheartened me is that these people that were calling themselves Christians were celebrating him going to hell according to what they believe.
Why? Why are they so happy about
that? I don't know. I was trying to figure that out myself. And I was like, you do realize that you're a hypocrite by even saying that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not even saying you're a hypocrite because one, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that you have to believe in hell or you're sinning.
Right.
It doesn't say that if you don't believe in hell, you're going to hell.
Right.
It doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that at all.
But it does say that Jesus said love is the most important commandment, saying that love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, and just alike, love your neighbor as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't understand what love is, Paul gave us a really, really good definition of it, a very specific definition. And in that definition, it actually says the exact words are, let me find it real quick. So I just will give you a little part of it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot.
No. But I know exactly what you're trying to say.
He, Mother of God.
It's okay. Intermission. Small intermission. I'll play like elevator music.
Oh, please don't. There was in the 1980s, Michael J. Fox played on a show, and it got him famous. And well, he was already famous. It was just, but he liked elevator music.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was funny.
What a weirdo.
Yeah, and I thought that was weird then, and I was weird.
And now you're even weirder now, and you still think he's weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm like,
Gosh. What a weirdo for liking elevator music.
I know, who does that?
Who does that? So funny.
Mother of God, why can't I find it? Anyways, it says not to keep record of wrongs. That's it.
Yeah.
Not to keep record of wrongs.
Of sin.
Which basically means don't remember somebody's sin.
Yeah.
That is part of loving somebody. Don't keep a record of wrongs. Yes, it's a sin that they did this, but it's not your job to keep a record of that sin.
Exactly. Like, that's literally doing their job for them. Aren't they supposed to hold themselves accountable for this type of stuff? Aren't they supposed to hold themselves accountable for their wrongs, just like we try to do ourselves?
Yeah. And I have people sitting there literally arguing with me and telling me, yeah, but it's just a good way to deflect false prophets from accountability.
What are we deflecting at the end of the day?
Yeah, well, I'm like, Jesus used love to deflect from false prophets. Is that what you're saying?
Wow. So you're literally hypochondria. What is the word I'm trying to look for? Contradicting yourself. Yeah, exactly. You're contradicting yourself, and everything that you're trying to say is true. That doesn't make any sense.
No, I mean, you're reaching so far just to be right. It's people care more about right than truth. It's funny when people call themselves truth seekers. They're not truth seekers. They're looking for
their truth.
They're looking for confirmation through documentation.
Right.
That's it. They don't want truth.
Mm-mm.
Because truth would mean that you found something that could make you wrong.
Yeah.
Truth means you're willing to be wrong.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not willing to be wrong, you're not looking for the truth. You know?
And people aren't willing to accept that.
Yeah. Not at all.
Which is so sad, because it's just like, how are you supposed to learn from anything if you aren't willing to make that mistake?
And in that whole video, I never once said that Carlton Pearson was right or wrong. I never once said, I never once quoted anything he said. I've never listened to him. I haven't. I don't care. I don't listen to preachers or pastors or anything, because I get my messages from God. When I heard listen to the word, I listen to the word, literally listening to God.
Yeah.
That's what's important to me.
Yeah.
But people think, oh, listen to this word or that word or this word. I'm like, which one?
There are 8 billion different ones. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I'm like, if you're saying, no, there's only one, well, then how come there's so many different denominations? If there's only one, there'd only be one denomination. If there was only one, then, if the King James Version is the most perfect version, how come that the ones before that wasn't the word? How come the Council of Nicaea didn't make the most perfect version?
Exactly.
How come Mary Magdalene's book wasn't in there? If King James Version was the best version, why did they take the Book of Thomas out of it in the 1800s?
Right. Also, wasn't the Bible originally Latin? Wasn't it originally in a different language other than English?
Well, actually, in the church, the Catholic Church, in the 5th century, outlawed any text, any translation that wasn't Latin. It wasn't that it was originally written in Latin. It was that the Bible, they outlawed it unless it was in Latin. And then there was a woman actually in 500 and something AD that was burnt at the stake because she prayed for her children. She prayed the Lord's Prayer in her home language.
Wow.
And she got burned at the stake for it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the loving church, the loving Christians that people are telling me. And the thing is,
hypocritical.
It sounds like I'm hating on Christians, and I'm not.
No.
I'm not meaning to put all Christians together. I'm not. No. And I don't think it's even the majority. I'm talking about the outspoken ones that want to put their heads out on the chopping block and tell us how we're wrong because we believe something different or somebody else believes something different. Who are you to say? It's not your place.
It's not.
The Bible clearly states it's not your place.
It's not. God truly states that it's not your place. Why can't you just stay in your place?
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. I understand that, maybe not everybody will believe in something that you believe in. Okay, sure. Congratulations. That's just how life is going to be in general. You do not have to go out of your way to make somebody else's life miserable because they don't want to believe something that you believe in, or they don't want to believe the exact thing that you believe in. So what? Everything has different colors. Everything has different fonts in life in general. Nobody is the same. Nobody's thinking patterns are the same. Why are you so judgmental over somebody's religious beliefs because you are so concrete in this? That's just so hypocritical. It is so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I mean, you might as well judge what brand of underwear somebody's wearing.
Exactly. Like, are you judging, what color fart I don't know, comes out of their ass? Like, dude, calm down. Did you like that one?
Just gave me a picture. I'm like, well, that was just nice. Appreciate that one.
Yeah, no. Like, just calm down. It really just doesn't have to be like that.
No. Christianity should not produce hate.
No.
The fact is Jesus did not produce Christianity, unfortunately, because if he did, it wouldn't be the way it is right now. There wouldn't be this much hate. There wouldn't be Christians causing wars. There wouldn't be Christians hating on others. And I'm not saying that you can't fight back. I firmly believe that I can love you and put a bullet between your eyes. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to put a bullet between your eyes because you believe something different than me. Jesus didn't do that. He didn't. In fact, he got on. Remember he called them what? The Brothers of Thunder, and they got mad because Jesus was being nice to the Philistines,
Right.
and Jesus was saying to be nice to the Philistines. Why? The Philistines believe differently. Well, I found that Christians are actually more likely to be more hateful to another Christian that believes differently than somebody that believes completely differently. But they're still being there. I have an acquaintance, somebody that I'd met. I won't say he's a friend just because that I won't dishonor him that much. But his name was Dr. Rashad Buttar, a great guy, really good man. And he was a Muslim and went to this business conference. We were at the same business conference, and this FBI guy was talking, and he kept on saying about how Muslims were bringing in ways to infiltrate the school system with a lot of the Muslim ways and stuff. And he stood up. He said, "Sir," he said, "I appreciate what you're saying, and what you're saying is true. But could you say the extremists? Because it's not Muslims; it's Muslim extremists." And of course, the FBI guy, being a dick like he is, said he wouldn't say that. It's just Muslims, and then people started speaking up. I mean, this guy, 99% of the people in this room were Christian. And he knows that and still goes. And somebody speaks up, "Well, you don't believe in the virgin birth of Jesus." And he was like, "Yes, I do. Muslims believe in the virgin birth of Jesus Christ. Muslims believe in the miracles of Jesus Christ." You know, and then somebody, and people just kept on hating on him because he was a Muslim. I'm like, why? Because he believes differently. But you know what? If he would have stood up and said he was a Jew, he wouldn't have gotten hate. He wouldn't have got hated, not among Christians.
No.
And you know what? Muslims are closer to Christians than Jews are. Do you know why? Because Jews don't recognize Jesus at all.
Yeah.
But why would you hate any of them? I wouldn't hate a Jew or a Muslim, any Palestinian. I don't care who you are.
We can hate them all equally.
Yeah. I'm like, it's not going to be for your belief system. It's your actions.
It's literally just...
Oh, you killed somebody. Yeah, I'm going to punch you in the nose.
Yeah. Like, it depends on what you do. It's not what you believe in. It's your actions that, are actually portraying who you are as a human being. It's not your beliefs. Like, nobody has the right to judge you for your beliefs, period.
No. I mean, it's just, and when people are calling things love that is not love, saying, well, I'm showing them love by trying to save their soul. No, you're not. I have seen men hit women, seen men hit my mother because they loved her. They didn't love her.
That's not love.
It's not, they truly believed it was going to stop her from doing what she was doing. What she was doing, stupid things. I've seen people hit kids that really deserved to get in trouble. They believed what they were doing was going to stop them. It wasn't. It wasn't love. They believed it was love, though. I gave you the definition or partial definition of love, and I'll even write it down on here. It's easy. It's 1 Corinthians 3, 4-7. Look it up. It'll tell you exactly what it is. That's what love is. It's really simple. I read it, and I'm like, that is actually a perfect definition. I put love into a simple definition: sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. How much do you love them? How much are you willing to sacrifice for them?
Yeah.
When people say they love me, but yet they won't do anything for me, they won't help me, they won't be there for me.
No.
Since I got hurt, since I had that surgery, I found out how many people actually were there.
Yeah.
I trust so many less people than I ever have trusted. And I never trusted a whole lot anyway.
Yeah. It's when you get down to that like rock bottom that you actually find out like how many people are truly there. And that's the scary part.
And the thing is that your love should have nothing to do with their love towards you.
Yeah. And
that's why I'm not going to base on whether I help people based on whether they've been good to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like people have shown me hate because I have Jesus is a badass. I'm not gonna be judging them whenever they're needing help. I'm still gonna be there. I won't even mention if they weren't there when I needed them.
No, because that puts you, that doesn't even put you on a pedestal. That's not even, a pedestal doesn't even exist at that point. That just means you are willing to put yourself, beyond that perspective of not wanting to help them. You're willing to go out of your way to help them.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's amazing. Like, that is so respectful.
I wish Christians actually cared what, I'm going to say this and it's going to come off wrong. Unless you really think about it. And I'm going to try to word it right, which never happens. More people concentrate on worshiping Jesus than actually the action of Jesus.
I get what that means.
You know what the word worship actually means? Action.
Yes.
Yeah. Most people think of worship as in getting down and kissing his feet. And that's all they do. That's all they do about like, praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. That's it. That's not worshiping Jesus. That's idolizing Jesus. It never says idolize Jesus. It says worship Jesus. If that's what you're going to do.
Act upon.
Act upon. What did Jesus do? Jesus loved people. When that person was lame, sitting at that poolside, when he was lame, he couldn't move, hasn't moved 30-something years, his whole life, hasn't moved. Did Jesus walk up to him and say, hey, I've got some news for you? Did he say that? Did he say, hey, what denomination are you? Hey, who's your God? Who are you following?
Hey, what's your favorite color?
No, yeah, nothing. He didn't say anything. He didn't say what would you do if you could walk again? What would you do? Nothing. Did he ask anything?
No.
Was there any kind of consideration taken before he helped him?
No.
Nothing at all. Any kind of condition? He just healed him.
Yeah.
That's the type of Christian we should be.
Yeah.
We just heal people. And that's it. I don't ask for things. If they want to come and listen to us, we listen to us. Because we're not missionaries. If you want to be a disciple, be a disciple. We're disciples, not missionaries. Disciple means discipline. It means who you are, not what you do. It doesn't mean you go and beat somebody's head up upside the head with a book and say, here, you got to follow this. You got to follow these rules. Do this. Oh, you're not a Christian unless you do this. No, it means, oh, look at this guy. He's doing such a good thing. He's loving so many people. I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
That's a disciple.
That's a disciple. I'd have to agree on that.
So I went on a tangent.
No, you're good. I loved your tangents. They're so good. No, I agree with that, specifically because a disciple is somebody who acts upon something that they are passionate upon. And I mean, like, you can be passionate about something and be wrong. But if you are wrong about it, you have to at least be willing to learn from that, And I feel like that's what a lot of disciples do, is they've come across these mistakes that they make, and they do trial and error throughout their time, and they just learn so much. They are just nonstop learners. They're lifelong learners who are just always trying to do something productive, and it's beautiful. Like, I wish more people would realize that it's as easy as that. It's as easy as just choosing to do that. And you can just do it with your own hands, do it with your own being.
Yeah, that's part of the discipline.
Exactly.
Learning.
Is doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just reading about it and everything. It's just, I tell people, I'm like, it's sad. Most people believe God is dead.
Yeah.
They really do. I mean, if I can prove it, the only way you can talk to God is through the Bible. So that means God didn't exist until 389 AD. And people quit talking to God after 380, or sorry, after 1611, they stopped talking to him.
Right.
Well, there was this time that the church decided to take out the Book of Thomas, and so I guess God did talk to the church for a little bit. None of that makes sense.
No, not really.
I'm like, and God talks to everybody differently and speaks to them. And I heard somebody judge Carlton Pearson because he said that I heard God's voice like it was my own. Apparently, this person has never listened to God because God's voice does sound like your own.
It does.
That's how you know it's God's voice.
Exactly.
It's not the voice that tells you it's different. It's what the voice is saying. I mean, I can tell when something was God's voice because I'm like, I instinctively do it. I don't question it. I just do it.
You can just do it. Right.
And, people I got so much hate from taking up and defending Carlton Pearson. And mind you, I have never said I agreed with him or disagreed with him.
Right.
It's not, my opinion doesn't matter.
Right.
But what I've said is I respect the man, because could you imagine having so much faith that you gave up everything? I'm talking everything as in you gave up your family, you gave up your wife, you gave up your finances, your career, your church, your congregation. You gave up you became a heretic of the Black Pentecostal Church. He did all of this. So when people said, oh, he was listening to the devil instead, did you know that before this, they actually said that he had God's ear straight to his mouth?
Wow. That's insane.
They said that he was super close to God.
Yeah.
But at this point now he's not.
Right.
So basically he's only close to God if he says what they think that God should say.
Exactly. What they're wanting to hear.
Yeah. I'm like, I would say, I don't care what. The guy had faith, and people believe you can't say something good about somebody you don't like. I didn't actually like Carlton Pearson.
Right.
Like his politics, I disagreed 100%.
Right.
But I respected the guy. It's like I told my son, I said, do you think my enemies trust me? He said, no. I was like, why wouldn't they?
Right.
My enemies do trust me. I know this because I was a cop. When I told people stuff, I remember this one time that I was fighting this. It's going to sound racist, but his name really was Joe. He was an Indian. Because down south, all Indians would call him Joe. But I am Native American, so don't judge me.
No judgment here. I'm Native too.
But I had to go pick him up, and he'd been fighting the cops. Actually, kicked the chief's window out of the car.
Oh, wow.
And I was a deputy, so I had to go pick him up and take him to the county jail. And I was FTO, a field training officer, so I was training an officer. This was a big dude. I'm talking. He was probably about 6'4", weighed about 320 pounds. And he was in the back of my patrol car, and his handcuffs were a little too tight, and they were. And so I pulled over, and he said, my partner said, you're going to pull over and fix them right now? I was like, yeah. And he got out, let me fix his cuffs, and we got back in. And I said, listen, whenever there's a mutual respect among people, I was like, you don't have to like what each other does, but you can still trust each other. He knows when I say what I'm going to do. Because when I went to go arrest him, he was getting ready to punch these officers. He was up. He had his fist balled up and everything else. I had my taser pulled up at him. I said, Joe, we're opening this this door, if you don't turn around, you know I'm going to tase you. He said, I know, Officer Hayes. He said, you do what you got to do. He said, but I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm like, okay. And I tased him.
Yeah.
And yet he was still cordial with me. Why didn't he fight me? Because I told him what I was going to do.
Exactly, because you communicated. Because you were human enough to communicate.
Yeah.
Because you put your dignity past anything.
Yeah. I mean, I don't lead with my ego.
Exactly. That's the word I was looking for. You put your ego past.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So many people lead with their ego.
Yeah.
And I've actually said this, which again ticks a lot of people off. I said, so many people are trying to fight the devil when they actually need to be fighting the ego.
Yeah, if that's not the truth, I don't know what is.
I mean, if they would realize that the ego is what's causing more problems than anything. I mean, they're not trying to glorify God. They're trying to make their religion right.
Yeah.
Their belief system proper.
Their beliefs, right. So at the end of the day, if you are trying to put yourself up on a pedestal and you are trying to, fight somebody who's trying to put somebody else up on a pedestal, but we're not even trying to put anybody up on a pedestal. We're just trying to spread the truth. But what do you mean? Like, it just doesn't really make any sense what these people are trying to say when it comes to, oh, I'm better than you because I believe my God is more superior than yours. Or, my religion is more superior than yours. No, it's your own belief system. It is literally what we are trying to believe in, our beliefs, but your own. Like, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is going to be perfect. You are not perfect, period. So stop trying to make yourself seem like it.
Yeah. If people would care more about their own system of belief, and not somebody else's, you're not going to change somebody's belief system. No. And it's not going to change them by you telling them how wrong they are.
It's not.
Because we can see that in politics today. Yelling at somebody, telling them how wrong they are, or how much, it doesn't matter how stupid they look, they're not going to see it.
Yeah, they could look stupid as heck. And they just look.
Antifa means anti-fascist. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, it was mostly peaceful.
What are you talking about? There's no peace in freaking war.
Burning a building down is not peaceful. That's not peace. But it doesn't matter. When you're wanting to be right, and when I look for evidence, when I'm researching something, I am not researching anything to be right about anything. Yeah. I am literally just following the evidence to where it goes. And I'm always willing to be wrong about what I originally thought.
That's kind of like my thing is I am physically willing to be wrong. I'm looking something up so I can contradict what I'm thinking about. So I can prove these thoughts that I have either right or wrong. I'm okay with being wrong because at least that means I'm learning something. Yeah. At least that means I am squashing the fact that I could have potentially been wrong. I don't know. People are just so crazy. And it's just, I wish more people were like you.
I don't know about that.
I do, because I feel like you have a pretty stable head on your shoulders. And you can at least, take accountability when you're wrong and step back and say, whoa, hey, maybe I did a little bit fuck up there. But you're not going to, go out of your way to make somebody feel like shit because you feel like you're right.
Well, there's no reason to make people feel like crap. I mean, honestly, finding out you're wrong is going to make you feel like crap enough.
Either way, exactly.
So, I mean, it's easier to get somebody to change if you let them know that, hey, it's normal to think that way. It's normal to be wrong. I mean, people are always looking for a way to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so what you did was human. What you're feeling, what you're thinking, it's a human way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I honestly, my wife will even tell you, I don't think like most humans think. So I don't fall into that a lot of times, that trap. But that's because I didn't grow up around it.
Yeah.
Nobody told me what to think or what to feel or anything. I've always been lost and confused. And so I always felt stupid. And pretty soon I just learned, you know, how it feels to feel stupid. So I'm not worried about feeling stupid.
Well, can I tell you something? Stupid is just a label for the unknown.
Yeah. Yeah. I
They were just confused. They just didn't recognize what, you truly were, and the fact that you were so beautiful and so amazing. They wanted to try and, distinguish everything that they weren't. Everything that they saw that they adored about you that they literally were not and could not be. So, like, that's just, it's so ridiculous. You are just too bright of a person.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Don't even know what to say about that.
Of
Um,
course.
I,
Absolutely.
I definitely didn't ask you to come on to say good things about me.
Oh,
Um,
God. Who cares? It's going to happen either way.
uh, yeah.
Either way, I feel like the fact that you're able to just be here and continue to learn, even with or without God, just yourself in general, that's the thing that is honestly inspiring.
Yeah. I think our overall goal, and or at least my goal, is to. It used to be to seek out God, and then I found God and realized God is within us all, and what the true purpose of everything is to learn and to love. And how do we do that? Well, um, just a little bit at a time, and listening and being willing to learn and love. Most people aren't. But you also got to be true to what you believe and who you are, because it's hard to learn and love if you're not comfortable.
Right.
I'm very patriotic, and even when it's not popular. Yeah, I mean, I don't care what people think or feel or anything about my patriotism. I can't stand my government, um, but I love my country.
Our land is in,
Yeah,
like, the indigenous people loved it for a reason.
yeah, and they were killing each other for it too. So
Exactly. Like,
I mean, my ancestors were killing
each
other,
other.
yeah, each other for because they wanted the land and they were enslaving each other. I mean, it's been a brutal past. The world history is brutal,
It's brutal, and nobody wants to
and
say that.
yeah, and instead of living in that, let's create a better future.
Exactly.
Instead of saying, well, which God's better, which way is better, just you find what's better for you. You think this is the best way. You think this is the right way. Start living that way and start meaning it. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't mind if you're a Mormon and you believe in all this and that's the way you believe. If you're Catholic, great. Don't change. I don't want you to change for me.
No.
But don't force somebody else and then tell them they're wrong. I mean, like, do you have parents?
Yes.
Do you love your parents?
Yes.
Do you think they're the best parents in the world?
Yes.
Okay. Do you go to strangers and say, hey, your parents suck?
No, absolutely not.
Do you say your parents don't know how to parent because they're not my parents?
No.
I mean, that's the way people do with God.
Yeah.
They're going around saying, hey, my God's better than your God. My God, why? You don't have to hate on somebody else's
Exactly.
belief system to say yours is better.
Like, why are we even comparing them?
Yeah,
in the
it
first
doesn't
place?
have to be that way.
Why can't they all be like our God in, different perspectives?
I've actually said that this again, I'm really good at irritating people because they don't like looking at things like this. I'm like, well, one, Allah means the God, right? It is literally Arabic for the
The
God.
God.
When Jesus said God, he said Allah. I've told people, I've said, is it possible that we're all looking at different parts of the same elephant? Um, but nobody wants to think like that. I'm like, instead of hating somebody else, just remember, if we're all part of God, then you're hating God.
Exactly.
If I'm hurting you, I'm hurting God.
Exactly.
If I'm loving on you, I'm loving God. That's just the way it is.
Exactly.
But also, if I'm hating on myself, I'm hating on God.
Exactly.
And if I'm loving on myself, I'm loving God.
Exactly.
So if you look at that, you start understanding that everything is about love and learning.
It's a perspective base.
Yeah, just start doing that, and life becomes so much easier.
Yeah.
You start looking at the things that happened in your past and you're like, you know what? Yes, my my mother abandoned me, and it was horrible. But what happened in her life that made her that way? What what did I learn from this? What does it give me an advantage from that I can teach somebody else and help them from? Now they won't have to deal with this. Yeah, it's a sacrifice and it sucks, but I can help them from.
And that makes you such a beautiful being.
And it's and I've said, if one person can go through their life and either avoid what I had to go through or get over what I had to go through, then not only was it worth it, I'd do it all over again. Because I truly believe that our purpose on life is to love and learn.
Is to love and learn. Period.
Hey guys, I want to personally thank everyone for liking and sharing my videos. Uh, if you want to continue to see my content, all you got to do is press that subscribe button and I'll notify you as soon as a new video comes out. I don't get paid for any of this. So if you want to buy some of my merch, like my shirts, like Jesus is a Badass or my Don't Be a Dick shirt, you can easily go to my merch store, which is at sogtv.org, which I will have it in the description at every video. So push that, go buy yourself a shirt. I appreciate it. Have a blessed day, and I will see you at the next episode. Thank you. Covered in mud.